know, something said it's taken me about 3 attempts to try and see if I can put this video together without screwing something up. And it seems like I always do screw something up, so rather than going off the customary approach of trying to be professional about it, I'm just gonna deliver it as being all like a, hey, this is new, here you go. And just as the title and the thumbnail would suggest, I have now finally gotten around to opening up that conceptual secondary Snowpiercer realm I was talking about last weekend. The whole idea about having the custom landscape, you know, smaller trains, more stuff you can do, just a refresh space, and just a whole lot of new stuff you can do. So, just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up as to what this realm's going to be like, and just what all to expect from it, we need to hop over this direction, to the spawn point. I almost kind of sound like I was trying to put a game show host voice on that there for a second. Anyway, so this here is the spawn point in this new Snowpiercer 2.0 realm, as I'm just going to title it because you can't have too long of names. And more specifically, you will be spawning inside of this little shack here, hence the name spawn point. And here you'll have the ability to pick block this map here, or if you don't know how to pick block, there's going to be a couple of maps right here in the chest. And note to self, this is not the confines of, you know, the limited area that the available space is going to be. This whole snow biome stretches to the whole north, south, and pretty far west of the map. When you go to the east, that's when things just become grassland and hill biomes, so quarries and regions to explore, you know, hypothetically around what this one item frame map would be. So don't be too concerned about that. And then over here you'll see a couple of signs that say outside you'll find a track template, and be sure to use the same size track. So, as I mentioned in the little conceptual idea video whenever I was first kind of showcasing the reopening of the original realm, I did say one of the limiting yet contributing factors as to what would make this realm a little, you know, significantly different compared to the original is the fact that in order to kind of help on the congestion of space and to kind of limit the size of trains to leave more available space for more members to be more active on a map like this, I've came up with a track gauge that should seem to be suitable for pretty decent sized trains without it feeling small or excessively large. So, let's see, the overall track gauge from rail to rail is 17 blocks wide. You got 7 here, you got the center point here, which counts as 1. 7 block space between the rails from the center point, so that's 14, counting the 1, that's 15. And the rails themselves are 16 and 17. And just here, you know, whenever you come outside the spawn point, just so, you know, new members can come along after reading the signs, this will kind of be just an overall template as to what all they'll have to, well, to show you what you'll have to work with here. And really the only two, the main reason why I have these 2 templates here in the first place is, you know, aside from maybe if you want to go with more of a detailed build around your train layout, wherever the hell you decide to put it, exposed track, you know, with the ties, you know, visible and the, you know, railroad nails and stuff there. Or if you want to try to keep things simple and not really put too much focus on the rails themselves, you can just go with this whole buried track. Just make a flat spot with snow on top of it and maybe have some indicators as to where the rails would be, and then you could just take it from there. As for the actual spawn point itself, I guess if anyone's just wondering, this is just a simple cell tower out in the middle of nowhere with a frozen truck right there. I mean, you probably already kind of figured that, self-explanatory. So that's the spawn point, the track templates, and the overall landscape itself. Now let me hop back over to my little cheap engine model over here and kind of give a little bit more of a rundown on this. So, going by the by the track template itself, I had to make a little bit more of a wider space to fit the side skirts of my engine. It's a little bit more resemblant to my original train design, just a bit scaled down a little bit. But so I kind of went with the buried track design, although I do plan on putting a little bit of landscape work around it. As for the train itself, you know, here it's just kind of like the same design, but going inside here, there's one more thing I need to kind of detail or give a little bit of an overlay to you before I open up this realm here. So for anyone who might be kind of curious as to what kind of overall interior space you might be having to work with the limited track gauge, with the wheels in place, being from rail to rail, and you have the axle here in the middle, my engine template showcases a 2-story setup, or 2-deck setup. Primarily here would be the main deck where everybody would be housed, the restaurants, the cabins, and the cabins and such. I about choked on my own saliva there. And then the deck below here would be kind of the subtrain level, where they have the little rail cart that goes along the entire length of the train. You know, the axle hubs and such like that. I don't even know what all compartments you would say would be housed in the subtrain level, but if you've seen the TV show and, you know anything about that, then you would know exactly what the subtrain level is. And so, probably as your trains progress, you can make a like a 2-deck setup, or maybe a drop deck to incorporate a multi-level cabin or something, depending on how sophisticated you plan on making your train to be. And so that's basically the scale and the overall interior spacing of the trains with the limited track gauge. But, as I mentioned before, one of the other reasons why I left the seed to be completely original and not make everything a super flat is so that way, in case, maybe if you're somebody who wants to do a little bit of outside landscaping around your train, that is something you could do too. Something like maybe building a bridge, or maybe carving a tunnel through a mountain somewhere off in the distance, and so on and so forth. Or, I did kind of say also in my previous video that maybe if you're kind of someone that doesn't really want to build a train, but maybe more like a frozen bunker, or like a weather station, or maybe even try to put together a frozen city between all of the different train builds that might be popping up sometime in the future. Because I myself, my train probably won't be 20 cars long, and instead I'll have probably some kind of meteorology station tucked away right here in the tree line right next to my train. Kind of making up a lore to go with it as well, but that's basically kind of an overall example as to what you could potentially do on this realm if you want to do more than just trains. So as it goes, that's basically the long and short of it, just kind of like the grand, well, not even grand, but just the notification of the opening of the second realm for anyone who may be interested. I'll have the code down there in the description, and rather than creating a whole separate Discord, I think I'll just kind of use the original one that I have right now, and then, if you're talking to folks about stuff you're doing on the second realm, you just kind of say so, So yeah, that'll basically just sum this up, and hopefully this one's a little bit more shorter, straightforward, and to the point. So rather than prolonging the outro, I'm just now going to say good luck, I'll see you around, and take care, and I'll see you next time, even though I said that just a second ago. Typical unprofessionalism. Alright.